Plumas Charter School student, welcome back to school. My name is Nurse Danielle, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about some of the new routines and rules we'll have to have in place as we come back to school in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, first I want to talk to you a little bit about COVID, what it is, some of its symptoms, how we can prevent transmission, things like that. And then we'll talk about some of the rules and procedures we'll have to have in place as we come back to school. Okay, let's get started. Okay, welcome back, students. So I'm going to talk about our COVID-19 health and safety plan for the school year. So what is COVID-19? Well, COVID-19 refers to the disease itself, coronavirus disease 2019, which is the year that it was first discovered. The virus itself is called SARS-CoV-2, and that stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, Coronavirus 2. That's the virus, and the disease it causes is COVID-19. So this is a novel virus, which means it's new in humans. Viruses can jump between species, and that's what they think happened with the SARS-CoV-2 virus. It was first identified in Wuhan, China, and it spread around the world rapidly in a matter of months. So it's highly transmissible, this virus. It was declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization in early March. So pandemic means it's worldwide, right? Epidemic would mean it would just be regionally. So what are the symptoms of COVID-19? So that's the thing about this disease, right? There are so many different symptoms that people have had when they've had this disease. Fever, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, sore throat, headache, muscle aches. So things that you might experience if you had a flu, right? There could be nausea, vomiting as well. Sudden loss of taste or smell. Now that's one symptom that is kind of unique to COVID-19. But the thing about these symptoms is someone is infected, they can have one of these symptoms, multiple of these symptoms, or they could have no symptoms. And that's the thing that's very puzzling about this disease, right? So an infected person can have no symptoms, so they don't even know that they're infected. And some scientists estimate that possibly up to 40% of infected people are asymptomatic. That word asymptomatic means without symptoms. So that means people can be infected with a virus, have no symptoms, and then spread it to family members who could become dangerously sick, right? So it's very curious with this virus that some people have no symptoms and then some people have severe problems from this disease. So there's a wide range. So in other words, the take-home story is don't take preventative measures lightly. So we have a lot of preventative measures we're going to have in place this school year that we'll all have to adhere to, just so we can keep everyone safe. How does this virus spread? Well, primarily it spreads through respiratory droplets, right? So when you cough or talk or sneeze and you're infected, you're spreading virus into the air. So an interesting fact is when you sneeze, you can project droplets up to 20 feet. When you cough, like 6 to 8 feet. And when you talk, like 2 feet. So this is why wearing a mask is so important. So people can become infected when these airborne droplets enter the eyes, nose, or mouth of an uninfected individual. It can enter through your eyes too, which is interesting. The eye duct goes directly into your respiratory system. So also you can catch the virus by touching contaminated surfaces and then touching your face, eyes, nose, or mouth. So if someone just sneezed all over the table and is infected, and then someone else came along, touched the table, and then touched their face, they can become infected too. So this is just the path of infection. It shows these little virus particles. They enter through our eyes, nose, or mouth. They get into our respiratory tract. and they enter the mucous membranes and start replicating in the cells that align our respiratory tract. They can get into our lungs, and from there they could go into our bloodstream. So originally, scientists thought that this was just a respiratory virus, but now they know it can attack like other organs in the body. So hence, there's a wide variety of symptoms that can result from this disease. So prevention of transmission is key, right? So let's talk about our preventative measures we're going to have in place. Healthy hygiene. So you've heard this a lot, and hopefully you practice it already, but washing your hands and using hand sanitizer is really important right now. So we want to make sure we wash our hands before and after eating, before and after using the restroom, before and after putting on a face mask, and after we cough or sneeze, or after being outside. Okay, so you'll all will have your own hand sanitizer bottle that you can use, and there's a big pump bottle in each classroom, and then you can also wash your hands a lot too. We want to remember to cover our coughs and sneezes. So use a tissue and then throw it away, and then wash your hands, or sneeze into your elbow. But use good respiratory etiquette when we cough or sneeze. Try to avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. I know that's hard, and we often do it subconsciously without even thinking about it. We touch our face, but we want to try and minimize that. Avoid contact with others who are sick. This is kind of just a given, just try and stay away from people who are sick and let them recover as they need to. Don't share personal items or school supplies. So we'll all be using, your own pens, pencils, paper. Let's try not to share school supplies or personal items with each other. And if we do have to share, we'll just have to disinfect between users, like for computers and stuff like that. Okay, here's just a little cartoon. There's Dorothy and the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion. I'm melting, melting. What a world, what a world. Who knew soap and water could destroy my beautiful wickedness? The coronavirus wicked witch. Wash your hands. Okay, so this is a video that's going to take us through the proper hand washing technique. This video is from the World Health Organization. Okay, so this was the proper hand washing technique. So you just want to remember when you wash your hands that you get in between your fingers and under your fingernails and get your thumbs, and you want to take at least 20 seconds to wash your hands. Okay, prevention of transmission. Physical distancing. So this is another preventative measure we'll take while we're in school. And I'm sure you've done physical distancing when you go out of your house to the grocery store, things of that nature. We're supposed to stay 6 feet apart these days. So in the classrooms, you'll notice that your desks and tables will be 6 feet from others. You'll stay in your classroom most of the day. So we're gonna kind of group you guys by cohort. You'll stay with your class, and you'll have outside time during the day. So you'll get mask breaks and fresh air and get to be outside some too. We don't want to shake hands or give high fives to our friends right now. And lunch will be served in your classroom or outside. And we want to make sure that we don't share food at this time as well. And when we are outside, we still want to try and maintain our distance. We will be able to take masks off when we're outside, but we still need to maintain our distance. So face coverings. So it's been shown that face coverings can decrease transmission of the virus up to 80%. So that's why it's so important to wear a face covering right now. We are requiring face coverings for all students and all staff, and there are a few medical exemptions for face coverings. So if you need to get one of those, you'll have to get an exemption from your doctor. But you'll need to bring a clean mask from home every day, a cloth mask preferably. We do have some backups if you forget your mask. But yeah, you'll be responsible for bringing a clean mask every day and taking your mask home at the end of the day and making sure it's washed properly. And yeah, there's acceptable face coverings, which include a cloth face mask or a disposable face mask. But we can't be wearing any of the neck gaiters or scarves or bandanas because those have been shown to not be as effective towards mitigating transmission. Okay, here's how to wear a face mask. Video by World Health Organization.
A fabric mask acts as a barrier to prevent the spread of the virus. It must be used correctly and always combined with other measures to protect yourself and everyone else. When wearing a fabric mask, clean your hands before putting it on. Inspect the mask and do not use it if it is damaged or dirty. Cover your mouth, nose, and chin. Adjust the mask to your face, leaving no gaps on the sides. Avoid touching the mask while wearing it. Change your mask once it gets dirty or wet. To take off the mask, clean your hands first. Remove it by the straps behind the head or ears without touching the front of the mask. As you remove the mask, pull it away from your face. Clean your hands after taking off any mask. If you need to reuse a fabric mask, store it in a clean, resealable bag. Hold the mask at the elastic ends when removing it from the bag and make sure it is not dirty or wet before using it again. Wash fabric masks in soap or detergent, preferably with hot water, at least once a day. Make sure you have your own mask and do not share it with others. When wearing a mask, make sure you know how to put it on, use it, remove it, and discard it or wash it correctly. Remember that a mask alone cannot protect you. When wearing a mask, continue to adopt other measures to prevent the spread of the virus. Stay at least 1 meter away from others. Clean your hands frequently and thoroughly, and avoid touching your face and mask. Stay safe, and let's all prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Okay, so masks are important to help prevent the spread. We'll also be doing daily health screenings. You may have already went through this when you came to school this morning. So everyone that enters any of our school buildings is going to be screened, so all students and all staff. And the screening just consists of getting your temperature taken. So if you have a temperature above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, we'll probably ask you to go home. If you have any symptoms that day, fever, cough, shortness of breath, chills, muscle aches, sore throat, loss of taste or smell, or any stomach issues. And then we'll ask too if you've had any exposure to anyone with any of those symptoms or exposure to anyone with COVID. So if a student fails the screening, he or she must go home, and we'll call your parent. So most parents will be waiting with you at drop-off. Students that bike or walk to school, a parent must be available by phone. So we just got to make sure that everyone's healthy when they come to school these days. What if you feel sick at school? What do you do? Well, you just need to tell your teacher what you're feeling, and he or she will see if you have any symptoms that could be COVID related. And if so, we'll probably call your parent to take you home. And it's recommended that you see your doctor before returning to school. And you want to check in with yourself in the morning too. If you wake up sick, please don't come to school and have your parent call that you'll be absent that day. So we really just want to be extra protective while we're at school. If anyone with any symptoms, that it's best to stay home and recover. Finally, a cartoon for you here. Someone sniffling. He might have the coronavirus. I think we're all feeling this way right now, right? Every time we go out in public, if we hear someone cough or sneeze, we get all worried because we have coronavirus on our minds all the time. But in reality, just remember that we are so lucky to live in a county where we have very little transmission and infection rates. Now, keep in mind, though, that we do have hotspots all around us in neighboring counties and cities. So that's something to be aware of, and that's still why we need to take our protective measures seriously. It won't be forever, right? There's a lot of scientists and medical professionals and infectious disease experts working on this virus, figuring it out so we can all stay safe. So if you're feeling hesitant or unsure about these new routines, I just encourage you to talk to a parent or your teacher or myself. Remember that we're kind of all in this together, right? This is an adjustment for all of us. So I just encourage you to stay optimistic, do your best with these new routines, and remember that it won't be forever. It's just what we have to do for now. Okay, this is Nurse Danielle signing off. Thanks, everybody, and have a great first week of school.